Daddy, you know the thing that I was watching? Hey, you do know?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, listeners and viewers from around the world, Gambia, wherever you are watching Voice Out Digital. This is me again, Paus, hosting State of Affairs, the show that brings in politicians, activists, religious leaders, and youth leaders around the diaspora specific and then the Gambia. Today with me, I'm gonna have the GDC, the Gambia Democratic Congress, if I'm right. Yesterday was the 4th anniversary since the party was formed to contest in the 2016 general elections, but fortunately the party did not form part of the coalition, and they were the sort of, to say, the deciding factor of the winning party. So today I'm very fortunate and honored to have the party PRO, who is Mr. Amaduka, to talk about the party's achievement and the party's policies and programs, and what new do we expect from the party moving forward. Mr. Ka, welcome and thank you very much for coming on a short notice. Mr. Ka, I can't hear you. Yeah, I can't hear you, Mr. Ka. No voice. No, I can't hear you. Mr. Ka, I'm gonna lock you off, and when you log in, it's gonna ask you to enable your voice and your audio. So if you wanna go back to the link and then click it again, it will ask you, do you wanna enable microphone? Yes. Do you wanna enable video? Yes. And then we try it again and see. Hello, assalamu alaikum. Mbokk yi ngeen baal ñu si that technical error. Maa ngi am tey suma guest mooy Ahmadou Ka. Okay, looks like one is working. Hello, Mr. Ka.
Yes, I'm getting you now. I'm not sure whether.
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Mr. Ka, bala nga la ñëw maa ngi doon wax si kàllaama Olof di welcome sun listeners and viewers around the world, and also members of the GDC party who may be watching, and then telling them, wishing them a happy 4th year anniversary. Then congratulate, see a very successful 4 year since the party has been exist. Tey ñu ngi am mbégte di dalal Mr. Amadou Ka, who is a national PRO of the GDC party, on a very short notice, and I must also confess that you are the first official PRO I've ever had in my program, even though I try to invite all party PROs, but they always keep declining. So for some reason, GDC is our favorite customer in this platform, and very soon I'll be having Mr. Dudundau, who is the diaspora PRO, also to join me. And Mabaila, Mr. Ka, and you say hello and introduce yourself to the audience. We are now broadcasting. For information, you can share the stream. We are broadcasting on YouTube direct and also Facebook Live direct.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you, Paus. I'm very happy, to be part of the program. So happy. Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm so happy to be part of the program. And then firstly, I will send my greetings to every Gambian around there in the diaspora, from everywhere in the diaspora. I'm sending my warm greeting from the GDC of the GDC. And I'm sending it to them through our diaspora executives and all members of the GDC there in the diaspora, and also through our PRO, Mr. Dudundau. I will apologize that I am the first person as GDC PRO to join you in this platform, which is, I think, very important, and I see no reason why we shouldn't be doing that. My belief is we as politicians belongs to the media, and then we have a duty to inform Gambians about our activities, about everything we do, because they are the major stakeholder in what we do on a daily basis. So obviously, answering to your call, I think, is a duty to me. So at any point in time, thank you also once again. You've mentioned it is we've celebrated our 4th anniversary. Alhamdulillah, we have witnessed the 4th one. We're praying to witness many more in peace and then in prosperity for the GDC and the Gambia as a whole. So my name is Amadupa, currently the Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Democratic Congress, and I'm so happy once again, to be part of this show.
Yes, Mr. Card, we go straight to the program. And something that surprised me, and it might surprise most of these people who are watching, and to be honest with you, I did not think that you were the actual national PRO, given your age and how young. With due respect, I don't mean to discriminate you, but I
understand.
So
I understand.
Yeah, good. I have Mr. Ndao as well. Mr. Ndao, welcome.
Good evening. Thank you very much, Pausman. I'm very happy to be part of you. Can you hear me properly? Yeah?
Yes.
Yes, I'm glad to be here today, commemorating the 4th anniversary of the GDC, Gambia Democratic Congress. As you are very familiar with me, I'm sure, and you know that I'm, unlike Mr. Ka, I'm very old. So, and I am also in the diaspora with you. I am the diaspora PRO, but he is the national diaspora, the official national diaspora, and I am the GDC executive diaspora PRO, as you know.
Yes, like I was saying, Mr. Ndao, I was so surprised when I had Mr. Ka is the PRO, and this gives us the hope that GDC is giving the lead to the young people, because all the political parties you've seen, you call their PRO, they must have had gray hairs and they are old school, not disrespect. And I called you, you talked to me straight away. You could have said, follow protocol, write to the office, and all sort of bureaucracy, but all these things didn't happen. I sent the message and it was well received, and it was straight away yes, and you made yourself accessible. So to be honest with you, this is a credit I will give to the GDC, especially in these busy days that they are celebrating their 4 years. You could have been out speaking on behalf of the party from one media house to another. But that's what you were meant to do today, and that's what you are doing. So you are living up to your POR purpose. And I was surprised, I would say that. but thank you, and I wish you all the best of luck in your position that you are, and I hope that you will inspire many young people in the Gambia to take up the frontline politics. But now, and also the diaspora as well, we have also, now one you was stupid because Banjul. So there we go. So I will start from the national PRO, because I will assume that everything you will be speaking today will represent the party in general. Am I right to say that?
Of course, you're right. Thank you. Maybe there are a few words that I missed because the network wasn't good. It's kind of like it was not stable.
I think you lost him in the network.
Yes, but I just want to say I'm happy to welcome our diaspora PRO, Dudu Ndao, somebody that has been very, very influential, very representative to the party. And again, we're happy, like you have mentioned, that's the GDC. Maybe people don't know much about, but behind this scene, very young.
I think you lost him in the network, yeah?
No, yeah, I can have that.
Yes, very young people that are in the executive that are calling the shots. So thank you. And then obviously, my objective really is to be media friendly, because the media have every right to know at any point in time. So thank you.
All right, Mr. Ndao, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, yeah.
Okay, good. So now we now gonna go straight to the program, and I will start with the Honorable PRO. PRO, in a short summary, why was there the need for? I know this might sound a very awkward question, but given the time that the GDC was formed, at that time we were having a coalition about to form, and then to defeat the then president of the then president of the Gambia. So given that critical situation then in the Gambia, 2016, why was the need for somebody to wake up and just form a party and call it GDC?
Thank you. That's a very good question. But firstly, people must know that the GDC
I'm not hearing
existed
again.
long before the formation of the coalition. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yes, what I was saying is that the GDC had been in existence like before the formation of the coalition. We held at least 3 nationwide tours before the coalition actually was formed. GDC also had participated in the formation of the coalition. We have always been part of that. And then I can just bring some history. It first started at the NRP bureaus. Then it was being done at the NRP bureau. Then it went up to a certain point in time where we got stuck among political parties. And then there was a time when we talk about what would be the petition for each party after we have won a victory.
Sorry, Mr. Ka, can you hear me? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Should I come out and come back in there?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah.
Yes, like what I was saying, like people must know that GDC was had done at least three nationwide tours before the coalition was formed. So then actually GDC was in existence before the formation of the coalition. So it's not like we refused to join the coalition. And also secondly, GDC was part of the coalition talks. Maybe this also, I don't know why the media didn't get that right, but the GDC was part of the coalition talks. In fact, in 2 occasions, it first started at the NRP bureau, and then we were participating. I was the person that was representing the GDC, and our former deputy party leader Yusuf Ajaita and the secretary General Samba Balde. At the NRP bureau, it went up to a point. Then we asked this question, like among all political parties, what will be the share of each party in the government after we have won the election? And I can remember vividly, very clearly at that time, some of the parties, what they said, that whatever petition to be done have to be based in the statistics of previous elections. Then I raised and found objection, and I said that cannot be possible because we as a political party, we're just coming in new. In fact, then we were not registered, but we had done at least some nationwide tours. Then I said, look, we cannot be a judge based on that because we have not gone into any elections. Then some of the party officials said, but that's not actually our business. The truth is, at the end of the day, after we have won the elections, each party will have a share equal to the previous, what we had won in the previous elections. And then later on, those talks failed. Then the second talks were called by Halifa Saleh, and these were the ones that went through. And in fact, those talks also, GDC was taking part. GDC, and I was representing the GDC with the former deputy party leader, again, like I said, and for Samba Balde, who was the secretary general. And then we have been going into meetings with other political parties, even at Karaba Hotel. And there was this meeting, we had an agreement as political parties that each of the political parties should come up with a modality outlining how and where and what must be done, or how should we select the leader of the coalition. Then each of these parties were asked to go back home, sit with their executives, bring up their modalities, whatever it is, to how the coalition leader will be selected or will be nominated. Then we went to our party and we did that. So we had a meeting, the very meeting that all parties were supposed to come back and table, outline, and make presentation of how they think should be the right way, the right course to select a coalition leader. Then all of a sudden we went there, and then we found the media. seated.
Mhm.
My mama, Aja Fatumata Tambajang, said, you know, we have the media here. We have to tell them that we have accepted in a convention, we have accepted that through a convention we will select our leader. Then myself, I can remember very clearly, I make objection. I said, we never had accepted that. We never accepted that as political parties. We never reached any understanding, any agreement at that point in time. And in fact, the meeting was not supposed to be with the media. What we agreed from our last meeting was today we are meeting as political parties, and each party will come up with a resolution about how the leader is going to be selected. Then it was just kind of funny because that was what we agreed before that meeting, and we found the media. So they said they have to, because people are concerned, people are worried that we're going to have a leader, then today we must tell them that we have agreed. Then we said, and I said, as a representative of the GDC, I will never be part of anything that will not give Gambians the right, the truth, because actually we have not made any agreement by then. So, and then what they said was, let us just agree, let's just tell the media. So it was on that particular day that GDC withdrew from the talks. But since inception, up to that level, GDC has always participated in the talks. So it was on that particular day, we just went there, and then we were supposed to table out, you know, how, and then also something else. We GDC knew at that time who actually that the UDP candidate is going to be selected, because GMC, the Henry Gomez parties, you know, and there are some other parties we knew really they cannot bring 70 delegates. So actually, then we knew the elections had already been won by Barrow, even though there's no elections. But the truth is, we have always been part of those talks, and then we withdrew at the almost at the later part. That was almost at the end, and because the reason we withdrew from the talk was we had an agreement as political parties that we are coming on that particular day, so that each of the parties will make presentation about how or what moralities we think is right to selecting the rep of the or the leader of the coalition. So, and then on that day we came and found the media, and we were asked to sign, to agree. In fact, at that particular point day, there was no document signed by any party. So we were just asked to sit down and be part of the right to inform people that we have agreed. And that was not the truth. That was not the case. So we said we are never going to take part in that. We are never going to, you know, give false information to the public. And then that was the last day. I can remember even on that very day when we walked out, we were standing outside the conference room at the door. Halifa Saleh then came to us, myself and Yusuf Ajaite. And Halifa Saleh told us that, look, we just have to look into the interest of the country. Then we said, as our party, as long as we are concerned, that's not the case. As long as we're concerned, political parties have to come together, make an agreement signed by each of the political parties that this is the agreement we have made as political parties. Then we can go out to the people and tell them this is the agreement we've made and this is what we all have signed. So it was on that particular day that we withdrew. So there is nothing like we refused to join the coalition or we were not part of the coalition. We were part of the coalition. We were part of the talks until the very end. Then what was done was not right, was not in line with transparency, was not in line. In fact, even with modern society or normal procedures or good procedures. So it was on that very day we withdrew from the talk.
So Mr. Piero, if I heard you very well, the 7 or the 6 parties just wanted numbers rather than an actual paper agreement to show to the Gambian people that we had a coalition. They wanted you to join to make it 8. Was that their objective, regardless of what party?
Actually, yes. Yeah, actually, on that day, what they wanted us to do is just to be part of them, and then said we have agreed. In fact, we were part of the talks, but what they wanted us to say is we have agreed for a convention. The very day that they announced that political parties agreed on a convention, there had not been any document signed by any political parties. And for us, we saw that to be not fair to the public, and was the main reason why we withdrew. In fact, it was that very day, that last day, that we stopped going to those meetings, and that was almost at the very end. So to us, there was no transparency, and that had reflected afterwards,
The position of GDC is that there was no agreement signed to show that we had a coalition or we had agreement A, B, C, and D until today.
Yes, until up until the time that they were making the declaration that
Okay.
political parties have agreed on a convention, then there was no signed document. And because of that, we said as a party, we will not be part of the group informing the country, after which there is no signed document. Because after all, tomorrow, if people should ask us GDC, what have you agreed? What is your agreement? We will not have anything to tender to the public. And actually, we have seen political parties facing that trouble, but not us.
Yeah, but okay, now that is clear now. So since after that declaration, GDC has no knowledge or any link with the coalition, no whatsoever.
Yeah. After that, after the coalition selected President Barrow, and then they went into election. They went to election, a convention, and they said President Barrow won. I can remember. I think about 2 days later, they came to Baobab, so they met us there. I was there with Mama and some of other executive members, and the team that came there, where Dr. Aïssatou Touré, the current vice president, she was in the team. My aunt, UDP deputy party leader, Aji Mariam Seka was there. My uncle Side Jata also was there. I can remember they were all part of the team. And when they came, what they told us, I can remember vividly, very clearly. Then the current vice president said, when after Mama spoke, he said, Mama, we know you are on the right track. We know what you're doing is right. But now we are just asking you to let bygones be bygones and come and join us. She said at that point in time, I disagreed because, you can remember, if you can remember very well, what happened was for her, she at that point in time, she withdrew, and she criticized the process. So she said, I myself also is a victim. Myself also is a victim, like you do. So it was not clear, but now what we want is just you join us for change. Then Mama Kande, I can remember, and myself, we told them, the problem is not about just coming in, for us, it is about doing right, it's being just. So for us, as long as we have not done things the way it was supposed to be done, we cannot be part of it. And then secondly, we told them, we know as of now that we have made so much influence in the APRC membership, and we took a lot of supporters from the APRC. So we told them, we asked them a question: what assurances do you have that these people that have joined the GDC now will not go back to vote APRC, because most of them were coming from the APRC? And then actually that was a question they couldn't answer. But also before that meeting they came, we even have call on some of our Yaikumbis and all that, and we asked them what would happen if GDC should join the coalition, and some of them even told us that we would go back to vote APRC. So for us, we knew we were victim about what happened, orchestrated by members of the coalition, or some members of the coalition anyway, orchestrated by some members of the coalition. And then after all, we had to play along so that we will give Gambians the change that they deserve. But we were part of the coalition at all times. Actually, the process, everything was wrong. We withdrew because the process was not right, was not correct. And actually afterwards we have seen, because when my party, like you have seen, when my party was sacked, he came out and explained how he influenced, the election, asking their delegates to vote for the UDP candidate, and so those others, because we were having political.
So, Mr. Piaro, the whole scenario of 2016 was like a deception game, because you mentioned the word you had to play along for the purpose of change.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
So now, here, this now we become very critical, using that word play along, and hence why can I say that play along is still reflecting in today's Gambia, because of nothing serious was put on the table except for the one objective, which was play along, and now it's paying off now.
Exactly, it paid off, because what happened, like now everybody asks this question: where is the coalition? Where are the parties that came and formed that coalition? They don't touch they don't even sit together now. Nobody knows what's happening. Nobody who knows don't know. So, and it is because the foundation was not right.
Yeah, but would GDCs involved in the coalition would it have make any difference to today's governance in the Gambia?
It would have made a huge difference, because for us, what we advocated for was everything have to be done in the right manner. Everything have to be in black and white. So if they were black and white, everybody have documents or whatsoever, some of us would even have reasons to petition, this current status quo in one way or the other.
But Mr. Piaro, in politics, behind the scenes, there is no right. You play along the game.
No, no. Of course, there are rights behind the scene. There are rights behind the scene. Just like we always say, for us, we are not into politics. We don't just tell people what they want to hear, just to get votes. That's not our way of doing politics. For us, as long as GDC is concerned, we do things in black and white. And what we do outside, behind the scenes, most likely reflects what we do when we are, facing the media. So for us, we don't have such kind of games.
Okay. Well, now here, what I want to know is, GDC was formed in May, and 6 months down the line, we had elections. What made GDC what made GDC so confident that if they are not part of the coalition as a baby party within 6 months, that they can win either APRC or six or seven political parties coming together? What confidence did the baby GDC, I will call it, then, that they can win elections? What were in what position did they stand to play in that elections?
Yeah, we believe really we had every potential at that time to win the elections, and that was soon. I can tell you, since 1994, 1996, we've never had anybody in public making declaration that I'm leaving APRC to another party. So if GDC can come out within a month and was able to convince thousands of APRC supporters to stand in public and say, they make the declaration that we are leaving APRC for GDC, then I think at that time we must have made a good strike, and we must have made an impact in the hearts and minds of Gambians. And also, our message was unique. We were coming in for change. We were coming in for development, and that was the reason why our message has always been peaceful, calling for peace, development. And we were like these brothers. And then we refused to accept what political parties accepted before. Remember, even before that election, some of the political parties, before the formation of the coalition, some of the political parties were already saying that they would not go into election with Jammeh, because they believed Jammeh would, by this or that, still win the elections. So some of them are already saying that they are not going to go into an election with Jammeh. So obviously we came in at a time that people really needed to see somebody that have the charisma, somebody that have the potential, somebody that have the courage, the commitment, whatever it takes, to stand in front of the people and to give them, because to be very honest, people were not only afraid about the then administration, but also the aftermath of that administration. What is going to come after? And you have seen that happen. After the elections, we have seen certain violence, even somewhere, even kind of like, I don't want to use, certain words, but it's like, kind of family, lines and so on, that were not nice. So all of this came in. So governments were not only afraid about the then administration, but also what will come after the administration. And then GDC at that time, the message we sent them, the strategies that we employed at that time, doing politics, being able to reach to Gambians, I think, was appreciated by Gambians, and was a solution, was conceived by Gambians, that this will be the solution that will give us the peaceful transition that we need, that we deserve, and then not only transition, but also the right step taking us to further development, and so on. So this was really
our confidence, because we were unique in what we were doing, we were unique in our messaging, but also we were unique in our style, appealing to the Gambian people, actually.
Thank you, Mr. Piaro. I will come back to you. Let me go back to Mr. Ndau, and I will come back to you
Of course.
again. Yeah, Mr. Ndau, can you hear me?
Of course.
Yeah, Pa, I can hear you.
Yes, Mr. Ndau, thank you. And we've had the brief transition or history about GDC and their involvement in the coalition talks, and I'm sure you must have been aware of what happened then. But
Of course.
yes, no, we want. Around what time did the party feel the need to have a diaspora chapter?
Well, the diaspora chapter, thank you, Honorable PRO Amadou Ka, GDC National PRO. Thanks for that deliberations. I think it was well presented, and obviously I totally concord with everything that you have said. Obviously, like I was in the picture and I understood what was going on. So, Pa,
Thank you.
to your question in terms of the GDC diaspora chapter, was initiated in 2016. Our first public appearance was August 2016 in the Gambian Park in London. In the Gambian Park in London, Gambian Cultural Week in London, August 2016. It wasn't as big as it is today, obviously, because many people didn't want to be part of it because it was obviously dreadful for them in terms of there was a dictator in the Gambia at the time. And nobody was sure, as Mr. Piero has said, that, we stood up to go against the dictator. The GDC formed and went to go through them, obviously, as the political parties in the Gambia decided a boycott around that time, if you remember. So with the momentum we were going on and the GDC's position in terms of transforming the Gambia from a dictator to democratic values, it was difficult for many people to join at the time, but you could see us, if you go back to the videos in the Gambian Park in 2016, I was there with my colleague Seydou Sow, Bara Toure, who is currently in one of the new political parties, and there was about 6 to 7 of us distributing flyers. Samba Ba in Birmingham, who is currently with President Barrow, I think. So we were there distributing leaflets in August 2016. So I can tell you vividly that in 2016 August, the GDC Diaspora chapter was initiated, and it started with the UK chapter and the French chapter. These were the first 2 chapters that started in the diaspora.
Yeah, thank you for that. Again, what confidence did the diaspora scene in the GDC home-based party scene to warrant this formation? Because we have seen 2016, almost every Gambian in diaspora was kind of disappointed because of we think that, or some of them feel that the winning government or the coalition did after boycott them. So they are with all the financial support that they've given them, they did not manage to fulfill their part of the bargain. And now here, in May, down the line, after the party was formed, we have a diaspora chapter, and still now the chapter continues to grow and get bigger and bigger. I think there was meant to be also another conference or a meeting in France. Was it this year or last year?
Yeah. So yeah, Spain and French chapter, they were doing their formation of event and congress. So that I was meant to attend, and obviously because of the COVID-19, the plans were cancelled in the last minute, as you know. But just back to your question, Pa. If you look at the formation of GDC, Mr. Carr has confirmed to you that the GDC is a party of yes, tolerance. It's a party of righteousness. It's a party that obviously want to take responsibility by itself and deliver a change for the Gambian people. So we have confidence in that, and any individual, any Gambian and friend of the Gambia for that matter, who is interested in getting Gambia to be in a better place will have no doubt but to endorse the GDC. And it is easier just go and join incumbents, especially as you know, living in the diaspora, educated, settled. It's easy. But that's not the point. The point is we want a change for our country. We are the country's natives who can make a change. And between us in the diaspora and those at home working together, we can deliver the change that the Gambia deserves. So going back to that point that in May 11 last year, in 2016, when the GDC was approved to exist legally, you could see it was only 7 months before elections. But it was mainly going to be the only party to go against Jammeh. So everybody else would have rallied behind the GDC. But because of obviously jealousy, obviously, the other parties feel that, oh no, even though they said that they are going to be boycotting the elections for Jammeh, if GDC was not in existence, Jammeh would have been there by now. But the GDC came out and said, no, we are going to go against Jammeh. It was not a good time, if you remember. It was a very difficult time. And that was the time that we had this GDC diaspora in the Gambian Park in August. But saying that by August, September, October, the coalition formed, if you remember. So the coalition formed in October. There was 2 months or 2.5 months before election. So that is when the coalition come together. Why did they come together? It's just common sense. They don't want somebody new, somebody who they don't know or in a political arena to just come out with the momentum that GDC had between May, June, July across the Gambia with the amount of people that followed GDC. Anybody who was opposing Jammeh, that GDC at the time was part of, had some UDP supporters, DOI supporters, APRC supporters, everybody from all angles of the Gambian voter population. So you could see how strong we were at the time. But obviously, when some people, some crooks wanted to start and cook some stuff and bring out what they brought into this coalition discussions, so they couldn't bear GDC to continue its momentum. So they called for a coalition in 2016 in a rushful manner. That's why it was the way it was. That is why we are facing the consequences until now.
Yeah, but Mr. Ndao, 2016 objective was just to remove Yaya Jammeh out of the way and perhaps without no plan in place, which we will come to after. But if
they didn't have plans in place, but we had plans in place. We always had plans in place because when we were remember when well yeah they didn't have plans in place. We were existing. Remember we had in May 11th we at the inception and we started to do our rallies across the country. We had the momentum. We had the plan. Our party leader was talking about how Gambia is going to look like. So you could see that. We had a plan already. What didn't have a plan was when they called for the coalition in October. Between October to December, it was only 2 months. They couldn't draw up a plan. All they wanted was come together and get rid of Jammeh. And we say we have no problem with that because that's what we wanted to do as well. We can be part of you, but we have to have a plan, an agreed plan, an official plan that will show how the coalition is going to look like. But someone like I heard Mr. Carr mention my party and this guy, Henry Gomez, you know very well what game they played in the formation of that coalition and how they give President Barrow their 70 votes each. So which they had to even borrow from other parties or other people. So obviously it was a cooked up game. We know that. But like I'm trying to say to your question is that the GDC has always had a plan, come up with a plan, had structures. That's why you had the GDC diaspora structure, you know, and many countries around Europe. Thank you.
Yeah, but Mr. Now, okay, I am gonna come to I understand you strictly emphasize that the GDC had a plan and they didn't have a plan. But now, when GDC was in that roundtable conference, PRO for Gambia, why did the GDC present any alternative or any plan to divert the attention or to divert whatever was happening within the coalition to say, look, yeah, what GDC has is it could work. Why don't we try it? Did at any point the GDC party present a plan, a prototype plan to the coalition?
Well, Pa, first
Yeah,
of all, what you need to look at is, sorry, what do you need to remember is, Pa, during the coalition from a discussion, the GDC were offered to even lead with conditionalities. Remember that, and the conditionalities of leading for 3 years without coming back, abiding by all the points, and the GDC said no. The GDC leadership, Honorable Kande, said no, obviously, to that because he thinks 3 years is not realistic to do a reform, and for him to take that and go against the will of the Gambian people, he wouldn't want to do that. Exactly like what President Barrow is doing today. Honorable Kande didn't want to do that because of his integrity and the type of person he is and the kind of people that he is leading. So remember also, the GDC proposed for the Gambian people to choose who they want to lead the coalition. The GDC proposed a regional survey across the 5-7 regions of the Gambia at the time to say that if the Gambian people, even if we choose 500 people in each region randomly, for them to choose between the 4 leaders who they want to lead the Gambia against Jammeh. And they said the 2 giants in the coalition discussions, this is my party again and Gomez, they keep pushing out those ideas, saying that it is too late. They don't have time for that. So the plan, obviously, before we can take out our plan, manifesto, plan of how we're going to change Gambia, if we want Gambia, because if you remember by May, getting ready for election in December, you would have had a plan, you would have had a manifesto, you would have a policy. So we didn't get to the level to say to them, obviously, here is our plan. Why should we give them our plan when a coalition, general coalition partners have to discuss and agree a structure, the resource of the coalition, as well as the political understanding that goes within the coalition agreement and the culture that we want to change. Pa.
Thank you. I will come back to you, Mr. Ndao. I'm going back to Mr. Ka. Mr. Ka, now we're gonna shift now to the present GDC, i.e. the GDC of 2020 and the GDC of 2021 to be. Now, before we go on to that, the GDC has been accused, or there has been rumors that the GDC is a disguised party of the APRC then. And then this has been dismissed, given the fact that the party leader emerged from the APRC, and then after a while he just formed his party, coming just at a time when the whole world or the country or Gambians had enough of the then government. So was there any kind of link or interlink between the GDC and APRC at any point during the transition from April till December?
Firstly, it doesn't make any sense for GDC to ever had any relationship before, with the APRC. Let us remember, when the first day we went to IEC to put our request to registering a political party, then after that, it is the APRC government that went and altered the electoral laws. So now take it this way. If we had any affiliation with the APRC, if APRC was the party behind supporting or, founding GDC whatsoever, why would APRC itself, the government, their own government, would have to make certain restrictions, making things difficult for us to come in? Let us remember, it is the APRC government that when we were coming in as a political party, and that was done purposely for us. To be very honest, myself know, everybody knows, at that point in time, it is only the GDC and Mama Kande that will get up and say that they are going to form a political party at that point in time. So then such alterations in the Electoral Act was done purposely to make sure GDC does not come in. So now people should ask themselves this question. if in any way whatsoever APRC was behind GDC, why would APRC make restrictions that will now, instead of make things difficult for us to pay $1 million instead of 10,000, to get
Yeah,
10,000 votes instead of 500?
but Mr.
So
Piaro,
now,
why would you assume
yes,
that that decision was for GDC when GDC did not exist? Was there any sign of threat within the party then for another party to emerge? Or because if you stand to say that the restriction was put into restrict GDC, then why GDC? Could we not have said the restriction was even done also for NPP or for another party? Why did we preempt GDC then?
yeah, look at it. Throughout that period, when it was done, it was only the GDC that was in the process of registering a party. After the laws came in, it was only GDC that registered a political party, passing those restrictions during JAME. Even all others that wanted to come in to the arena later on, not even at that time, they were not coming, they were not coming out. But at the tail end of the year, those that were even coming in, they were presenting themselves as what? Independent candidates. So then actually we were the one faced with that problem. And then this happened. The first time we went to IEC to make to look into registering GDC, there was no kind of certain laws. It was after which we went to the IEC, then such laws came into existence. So therefore, then actually it was us, and we can always say it was us. And actually, it does not make any sense at all. After all, the APRC making such restrictions to make things hard for us while they are behind us to come in. So it just doesn't add up. And these allegations never came from anybody from the APRC. You have never heard of anybody then that was a member of the APRC, from the leadership of the APRC, that stood anywhere and said, we sponsor GDC. All those that were making such fabrications, such allegations, were people that were supporting coalition parties or other political parties in the country. But I have never heard of anybody from the APRC at that point in time, even up till this minute, that APRC had ever, supported GDC in any way whatsoever. So that was a strategy for them, because they thought at that time, the momentum Mama Kandeh had, the fame, whatever, the influence that Mama Kandeh and the APRC GDC had, could only be damaged, could only be brought to a standstill by, damaging the image or the image of the GDC or Mama Kandeh himself.
Now, let's come to GDC of today. Does the GDC party still have that momentum and that fame you are talking about now?
We are stronger today. We are stronger today, and that has been manifested through, the election cycle. That in 2020, some people said after the elections that GDC got 17% because people wanted Jammeh to go. But let's remember, after Jammeh left, we went into parliamentary elections. And when we went to parliamentary elections, in fact, we get more than 70% like we had before, and that Jammeh was not even in. So we had we got 5 MPs. But our 5 MPs, in fact, we can just say, okay, I know other political parties can say, yes, we have 5. But there are some political parties that have 5. But if you look at the total votes GDC had in those elections, it's twice, some of the other political parties that have 5 candidates in the parliament. Yeah. So then actually, when we also move into the local government elections, then we also move up again. In fact, GDC was the party that has consistently been growing throughout that election cycle. And I can tell you, I can answer you, honestly speaking, that today we are stronger than we were ever before.
Now,
scores of people are coming.
Now, if you come to the statistics, the local government election, GDC put up about 50 candidates.
Yes, 52.
52, and they only meant to get 5. Mr. Piaro, that's not a good outcome. If you put 52 and get 5 nationally.
Yeah, just sometimes people look at it. Yeah, that is it. Sometimes people look at it just holistically. Do you see it? But also you can be more critical in how you analyze those figures. Like I told you, people will always talk about you have 5, but actually look at the static, the number of votes that we pull. So it's not only about we got 5. And then look at it this way, that 5 came, but when we move on to the local government elections, we pull up to 25 seats. So all the other political parties that have 5 candidates are far below what we even got. So
that's even 10%,
when we just say, okay, we all have 5. Yes, exactly. So when we say, we all have 5, we are the same, that's not the case. Important, even more important than the 5 seats, or making mention of the 5 seats, is the number of total votes pulled out of that elections. And if you look at it, you will know that GDC, since 2016 elections, have been an outstanding party whenever it comes to election cycles, election processes.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Ndao, I want to come to you on this question. Does the GDC diaspora have any influence over the party in the Gambia in terms of activity, in terms of spending, in terms of policies as well?
Yeah, of course, the GDC diaspora, like I said to you in our last forum, in our last discussion, our objectives and participation in the party is on 2 folds. One, we support the base, which is Banjul. We report to Banjul. I collaborate with the executive as well as PRO and some of the people that goes on the media a lot. So obviously, we all sing the same tune. So policy-wise, we support them. We work together in building up our policies and our programs. We communicate constantly between the diaspora and Banjul. So there is no, hips and hops in terms of the way we deal with our issues as a party for the national interest. So it's just a sub-branch of it from Gambia to here. And secondly, the other fold is financing. We support, obviously, the central party in the Gambia in terms of their activities. Lots of activities they do. We help them through the funding, supporting financing. Recently, you've just seen, just a few days ago, Honorable Candace given $100,000 to the Disability Federation in the Gambia. So, and you can see the work that we've done in terms of the projects that we do since 2016 coming now. So the diaspora has always been funding, supporting in terms of from things like the Banjul project, cleaning the gutters of Banjul, helping the boreholes, water access to the narcos, giving the women narcos, horticulture, access to water. So all these things is combination of diaspora members as well as home members who put their funds together, whether small or big, it becomes something large which we benefit to a community. And that's what we've been doing since 2016, Pa.
Thank you. Mr. Ka, today I was listening to Mama Kande, and then he said the Borough government is a joke. And could you please just well, we have a government, and also he rated Borough 2 out of 10. So is this a perception of the whole party or just him as a political opponent to his brother in politics?
I think Mama Kande is just being real. Just now, let us be very real, especially with this rating. Let's look at current issues. Now that we have COVID-19 in the Gambia, and then since it started, from the last report we have, things are just moving up. Then this COVID-19 was a test to the administration. So maybe Mama Kande even didn't give you that much details. But if this government had done what they were supposed to do at the right time, or they have strategies very clear that are communicated to the people, and followed by the administrators in different levels, different sectors of our country, then obviously we will not be facing what we are going through today, as even just with respect to the COVID-19 and many other issues. Just look at it. We're talking about yesterday, Birkama Market on fire. Today again as well. Not long ago it was on fire. Basse Market in fire. So I think the government itself has a role to play in all of this, saying that the infrastructure itself is in a way worthy of proper market condition situation. So there are a lot of things that are ongoing in the country that people are not happy about, actually, and we just cannot say that the government would not have anything, or the current administration would not have anything to do with that. They are responsible because they were supposed to make sure everything in this country works fine as it is supposed to be, and that is not what we're saying. That's just what Mama Khan is trying to say. And actually, I think Mama was right in even giving you statistics of 2 out of 10. I think that's fair.
Yeah, but Mr. Piero, in regards to national development, is it the duty of only the government or every citizen and every political party, including government in the country? Why are we leaving everything up to the government and pointing finger at them? And then what policies have your party have in regards to these things that we are crying out foul for today? What this is now where you convince the people that we are a party with better policies and we are a party in a better position to address these things that we have highlighted when Dora was there and Jame came, and now we highlighted these problems in Jame. Now Baro came, and now we are still crying for these problems in, let's say, example, health. Let's, for example, youth employment. Let's talk about education. Let's talk about agriculture. What policies do you have in place to address these things so we do not come back 2021 and say, yes, this government is having the same issue again, and it keeps going on and on again.
Yeah, you can just see before even I talk about the policies. If like your first question, is government only should be doing everything? No, we as a party, GDC, we do not believe government should be doing everything. And I can tell you, we as a party, if you look on aggregate, we are doing more than government itself. Because sometimes it is disheartening, sometimes it is painful that people will come to GDC Bureau and say, please help us with this, help us with that. They did not give us any funding. People do not pay their dues to us. But actually, they will leave government there and come to GDC trying to beg for things, that should have been provided by those that are receiving their taxes and so on. So we believe that it is not
getting the money from them. Where is your source of finance to do more than what government is doing?
Our source of finance is always coming from the people, the supporters of the GDC. Just to give an example, our PRO there, Dudundao, categorically can tell you that even the GDC diaspora have an account here in the Gambia. Yeah. So, and they raise funds all the time. Every year, they're sending money to that fund. Was it possible? I can even show you list of other WhatsApp groups, support, society groups and so on that do contribute to the GDC. So we do contribute. Even PRO Durundao sitting there has contributed many times, to GDC. So our funding mostly is coming from the supporters of the GDC.
Okay.
And well-wishers of the GDC, representatives of the GDC, and the leadership itself.
So how about in terms of policies? This where again, like I said, I will repeat, where you're gonna convince the people that after 4 years of existence, we have been able to have this kind of policies, and this justifies that we are ready for 2021. Because given the fact that a party that was created 4 years ago and went into elections and only gets 17%. What can convince the human being that from 17% you can go up to 52%?
Yeah, probably you're not currently on the ground, but if you were on the ground here in the Gambia, convincing people that has already been done by the party. We are, with people 24/7. People do come to us to raise their issues, raise their concerns, and we go to them and listen to them. And then our policies, example, some of our policies has it that when it comes to disaster relief management, the GDC should always, that is something we made a policy, that should always be on the front line. And that has been done, that has been shown. Even you people that are there in the diaspora have seen that. When there are disasters, who responds first? Who get to the people first? It has always been the GDC. That's a policy, that's why we can do it. Even in times of disagreement, violence here and there, GDC always is on the ground first. People listen to us, listen to our messaging. These are all policies that we have.
Yeah,
Do you
but
see?
Mr.
We do
Piaro,
so much.
Mr. Piaro, sorry.
Yes.
On the ground, yes, that is evident, but on the ground, doing what? And on the ground, provide what? Because yes, I have seen in the budget that the GDC partnership was there first, and he also gives some money. But now, let's do away from providing physical finance to the people to solve their immediate problems. We are talking about a party that wants to lead a nation. We are talking about a party that said they are the best party and they are ready for 2021. We are talking about a party that claiming now that they have the best policies right now. I am talking about now policies that will address the end result of the problem rather than giving them $100,000. Yes, that's fine. We've seen that. But from there, where do we head to?
Yeah, like the reason why I was I talked to you about that. It is because you raised this issue where that we believe things should be done only by them. So
Yes.
that's why I made it known to you
Yeah.
that
Okay.
we do not believe that, and that's why we have been doing A, B, C, and D. But if you come to policies that we have, look, a GDC government like we have in our manifesto whatsoever, a GDC government, let's take a Queen Road run, to technology, education, science, health, and so on. Do you see? We believe, example, when it comes to health, Gambia must make sure that governments invest in the training of doctors and nurses in the country.
Thank
Now,
you.
we have people that are trained currently in the Gambia, but every year from our own investigation, we have found that many people, students in this country, would want to study, example, medicine in the university, and then they would not be able to go in. Sometimes the reason because the limit that the university can absorb, it's not that much. The resources also for the university to be able to run that number of students. So we have it also as a policy. A GDC-led government will make so financing will be available, will be created for that sector, especially when it comes to training of medical personnel, and practitioners and so on. Then
Is that
also when it comes to
is that
agriculture.
okay? Come on, yeah.
Yes, as when it comes to agriculture, we said, and we always have made a policy and we are doing a lot of updates on our manifesto and our policy documents and so on. Very soon it will be launched. You will see all of this that I'm talking to you about. But also among those policies, we will present or give the Gambians a country that will do as much as possible to industrialize the economy. We believe we cannot depend in importing everything that we eat, everything that we feed ourselves with, we clothe ourselves with, or we use even for infrastructure development. We believe the country needs to industrialize. Agriculture itself needs to be modernized, needs to be mechanized. These are all things we have in a policy, a GDC-led government. And also what we have in our policy is that a GDC-led government will bring clear separation between the three major arms of government, being the executive, the legislature, the judiciary. They will be given absolute independence. A GDC government will not be a government that will try to use any other, scenario, ways, or power, whatever provided by constitution to influence what is done somewhere else. It will be a transparent government, even when it comes to financing of activities or government resources whatsoever will be used in a free and fair manner. This is us. Also, when it comes to media, like you just have said at the beginning, you sent me this request, my presence in the show yesterday, and I said the moment you talk about it, I said yes, I'm coming. I was able to tell you that I will join you without informing the GDC executive, because it is a policy that has already been prepared by the GDC, and we will make sure there will be support to the media fraternity. They need to be supported. Everything that you hear about every information you get regards to Gambia from the media is because the media personnel and the media institution have stretched their limits. Some of them don't even have resources to run their daily routines, and we need information. This information is adding value to the work government is doing. It's adding value to the life of the people. It's adding value to the social and development of this country. So we have it as a policy that the media itself will be given due thought, due consideration so a GDC government actually is going to be quite different from what we have today and what we have been going through even in the past regimes.
But the GDC party has not shown any different method as in regards to how the government of the day is dealing with the COVID-19. For example, we haven't seen any speech or any critical approach from the GDC party towards the government. I.e., we have seen the Minister of Health been disbursing 500 million, and we have not seen what Mama Kande did in
Of
2017.
course, we have done that.
But
Of course, we have done that. Of course, we have done that because in fact, even before all of that, when the Senegal recorded their first cases of COVID-19, GDC came up with a press release, and then because then Barrow was outside in the provinces around Bassi and so on, we made a press release urging him to leave whatever he's doing to come to Banjul, sit with his executive. So that will tell you how responsive GDC was with regards to the COVID-19. Now, further than that, what we could have, we did what we could have done, and that is provide sanitary materials to people, and that was done by the GDC. Now, when it comes to like other policies, or there are a lot of things we will not be able to do without government giving us the support. What happened in other countries? It is the government that called the opposition, and bring them on board and put down together. We build up a strategy because there are a lot of people government cannot reach, and it will be very easy for GDC to reach because some areas are stronghold of the GDC, others are stronghold of UDP. Some will listen to Mama Kande equally or more than they will even listen to Barrow because they support the GDC. So if and that also will tell you how the government failed in the response to COVID-19, because even just look at our neighbor Senegal.
Okay.
Even with our neighbor Senegal,
the GDC MPs, remember the GDC MPs in the parliament?
Yeah, of course, as well. The GDC MPs in the parliament have been crying about the way the COVID is handled, by the current state. So we have been out there, we have been in the forefront through the parliament, even through the media. We have talked about this COVID-19 response the government should take, even through the media on several occasions. We urged the president long before when he was thinking about going around organizing meetings and campaign. We urge him to come to Banjul and make sure there are responses, put forward for the COVID-19. So GDC have always been in the forefront as a policy, even with respect to the COVID-19 responses.
All right, thank you. I'm going to come to, we have about less than 20 minutes to go. I'm going to come to Mr. Ndao. What is the agreement between the diaspora GDC chapter and the GDC in the Gambia? Is there any expectation from the GDC diaspora members? I.e., are we going to vote? Is GDC the party that is promising you, oh yeah, when we win, you're gonna vote, be there for us, support us, give us money,
Well, again, I mean, if you look at, it is generally agreed that all politics are local. Obviously, the people with the voters' cards are mainly known to be in the Gambia. However, it is something that the Gambia Constitution itself has illustrated clearly that the diasporans should be given the suffrage to universal suffrage to vote in presidential election. So GDC is championing that. Even though President Barrow came here in 2017 and said that the diaspora is going to be the 8th region of the Gambia, and he will make sure we vote. But in his administration, as you can see, it's been delayed. The IEC has given their budget to them for them to approve and give them the money to start registering people, including diaspora. Nothing has been done so far. So the GDC, in our consultation for the Constitution, one of the key things that the GDC championed and highlighted and bolded, underlined red, is that the diaspora should be given the rights to vote, at least to start with the presidential elections. So that is something that the GDC leadership and the GDC as a whole party is part of our policies to make sure, and like I said, when this manifesto is launched, you will see that it is part of our objectives, our policies, that the diaspora aid region to be a reality in our national governance.
Okay, thank you very much. Mr. Ka, I'm not going to ask you that because it's been answered and you seem to be agreeing with what he's saying. But
Yes.
the fact that in 2017, Mama Kante first highlighted the corruption inside his government when he talked about loans being shared, and he said again. And then, despite all these things, why didn't his MPs try to push forward the anti-corruption commission to be established ASAP?
Yes, the way we operate as a political party, what we do is sometimes when you have issues like that, we keep our parliamentarians informed, and they have been informed about that. They have always been told that they have to make so in their deliberation in the parliament, due course is put to government financing. It is important that what they do is followed. It is important that government is guided, towards their financing activities and so on. I'm quite sure, our parliamentarians will come up with issues like that. Just depend maybe on the situations that they sometimes found themselves in, or the issues that are talked about, in the parliament and so on. But actually, and remember, we are not in the parliament as a majority. So sometimes there are certain things before they can be, we can pull them, or we can try to, take them head to head. They must try to, to get, other groups, to join them in a bit sort of, before they can just come out pushing, certain things that will not come to be very effective. And then you can remember at that time, Mama Kande was talking about that issue. Then we were told we had a so-called coalition. It is so also important and interesting today that Mama Kande said that in 2017, and just last week we hear Honorable Sida Jata calling what was done through environment to be an act of fraud.
Yeah. So what is the party as a whole, as an opposition party, been doing on a daily basis to be on the media to talk about the corruption? What is the how serious is the party stand in regards to corruption? We see corruption every day in the Gambia, and no political party seems to be taking the right direction to address this thing. The parties who are doing it based on a personal different level. But I'm talking about at national level to try to evoke the laws that
is that a question? Is that a question for Mr. Ka or?
Yeah, Mr. Ka, yeah. I'll come to
yeah. Just like I tell you, if I can tell you, things would have been very different if GDC was a majority in the parliament now. Things would have been very different. In fact, I can tell you, there are bills that have been passed and so on. If GDC were a majority in the parliament, talking about appropriation bills and so on, they wouldn't have just passed easily, So, but at the end of the day, we want a lot of things to be changed at that level. But actually, the numbers did not favor us. And then, it was until recently that maybe other would, but before we were seen as opposition, and even the only opposition with APRC. That was how we were seen before. And in fact, this reflected in the structures, whatever that's run out there. So at a national, sorry, I beg your pardon. At a national level, this has been, some sort of a challenge, to us to make a certain impact, regarding what you're talking. But I can assure you, at the level that we can, that is informing people about what has been going on, that was what prompted Mama Kande to go out in the media and talk about that. And if you follow executive members of the GDC, myself being it Honorable Omar Sise, you see him to be very critical when it comes to parliamentary matters. He's been very vocal. He's been very, very critical to issues, and in fact to the president and to the government. So that has been seen over the past months. And then actually at the national level, we have been very vocal. We have been very vocal at the parliament through our MPs, from each and every one of them. We have been very vocal at national level through the media, through by Mama Kanda himself, by myself, and by MC Cham. On a daily basis, it is hardly that you see for 2 weeks that news cover did not cover issues that are emanating from the GDC. So, at a national
Okay.
level, we have been outspoken. We have been,
Yeah.
very, very, we have been out there really. Yeah.
We are out of time. I'm going to ask you these 2 questions or 3. Is
Yes.
the GDC coalition with any party against NPP or at some point with NPP?
GDC can go into coalition with any party.
UDP?
It just depends on any party. I mean any party that's
Okay.
operating in the Gambia can be in a coalition with the GDC.
So
So, but
is that-
actually, what I can assure you is GDC will only go in a coalition with a party based on in absolute interest of the country and people of this country. So
But
that is the only way and the only procedure we can take to go into coalition. So
But-
we are not ruling out coalition with any party in this country. We are all in politics. We are all in the arena together, and we also expect them, if the situation favors, all of them can come and join us at the same time.
is the GDC currently in talks with UDP for a coalition?
Pardon, come again.
Is the GDC currently in coalition discussions with the UDP?
No. We are not in coalition discussion with the UDP. We never have been in coalition discussion with the UDP. We never spoke about coalition with the UDP. That had not happened, not yet anyway. So, and then not any other party as well. So we have been operating since 2016 as a party, and then now our priorities are to go into elections in 2021 as a party, a sole party, and win in first round, which we have to go in a second round, and inshallah things favors us, then we will do all it takes to see to it that whoever that we're going to be in a coalition with will be done in the interest of the Gambia.
Thank you. Mr. Now, do you have anything to add on to that?
Yeah, just a few bits here. First of all, yeah, in terms of the information for the GDC to the Gambia, I think the Gambian people should bear in mind, as it is now, that we all fought for a change, a freedom, and the national medium, which is the GRTS, for example, you hardly see any political opposition leader on it. So if you want to say something to the public, to the Gambian populace, which is maintained and paid by the Gambian taxpayers, it only have to be the president. And this is something that the Gambian people have to closely look at and help them to make their choices come 2021. You don't see any other political party, be it APRC leader or UDP leader or DOI leader, or GMC leader, no other party, CAFA, you don't see GFA, you don't see any of them. So this is something which the constitution has mandated for the Gambians to be able to access the national media whenever, even if it is 20 minutes a week or 20 minutes a month. But since election time, how many times did you see Honorable Kande on national television? Or Honorable Senou Dabo or Honorable Halifa Sallah. So these are the things that we need to take seriously and understand that obviously it's nothing but dictatorship. It's nothing but censorship. Thank God today we have the mediums like yourself and like Africa TV, the Fatu Network, the Kirfatu. Those are the people that speaks for the voiceless people. You have the Freedom Radio, you have the Diasporium, and many other of these online radios. If it wasn't for them, how are we going to talk to the people? Because not every political party have a medium. Now, some political parties are trying to have their own medium because obviously it's seen as the easiest way to disseminate information to the Gambian people. The other point, in terms of the advancement of GDC, we have no doubt, as it's the caliber of people that administer and work in the interest of the Gambians. As far as the GDC is concerned, that has given us this repetition. And obviously that becomes a weakness, obviously, to us, that people can say anything to us. They used it in 2017, 2016 against APRs in GDC. As you can see now, they are using the same strategy to say UD and GDC, and that's no one is doing that but the NPP people, because they want to tell Gambians that, oh, don't trust GDC because of they want to do A, B, C, D. So the same strategy, but I think the Gambians are aware now. The Gambians are very much aware of that strategy, so it will not work. So in terms of the achievements, you can see the GDC has done a lot, is uncountable. And as a political party, not only the financial bit, as Mr. Ka has mentioned as well, but you can see the intrinsic factors, the things that people cannot see out there, but they are internally affecting the Gambian people, where we stand for the people, how we defend them, how Omar Sise, for example, the beginning said that the Gambia government need to have some stimulus packages for the people who are not working. So to be able to get them to stay at home. All these things, this vibrance you can see in the National Assembly. You can see in terms of the support that we give to people economically. You can see how we become the beacon of peace for the Gambia, as we are, we negotiate, we integrate, we ensure cultural diversity, inclusion among us as a country. So the GDC is a role model. You see also what we've done with regards to the women. I mean, in 2017, about there was 14 women going for election in parliament. 7 of them were women. So what we do for women, and until today, we are encouraging, we are trying to get women, Gambian women, to be part of the administration of the country. So these are all things that even the constitution we have to fight for. We have to propose the constitution, to make sure, as well as the diasporan votes, to make sure that these things are embodied in our constitution. So, what we need to do now, I think, as diasporan and as home voters, is that we try and ensure we hold this government accountable to put through our constitution, so that we go to next election with new constitution. So sooner or later, we go through this referendum, get our new constitution in place, and then we go for free and fair election for 2021. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ndao, and then thank you, Mr. Ndao, and thank you. We have come to the end of the show. And Mr. Ka, I'll give you like 2-3 minutes. Hence, today is your birthday, and it's a very, very big congratulations from the VOD to your to the GDC, the mighty GDC. And then, what message? What is your anniversary message to the Gambians and to the world? We are broadcasting live on YouTube and on Facebook. So, what is your piece of convincing message? It's from what Dudau has said. It looks like GDC is a socially constructed party, and this is what we need. And then I wish the party all the best towards next year's election. And what is your message to the Gambian people finally?
Yeah, my message to Gambian people is like, it is time. It is time they go in for a change. It is time that people start to refuse. They have to say no to, certain information that are just being fabricated against people here and there. It is time that people take politics, put interest into what their political leaders are doing, they are saying, their manners. It is important that people to come and join politics, and people have to be interested in politics. Through that, they will know, they will have alternatives among candidates that are contesting for these offices. People must show interest in politics, must show interest in following what politicians are saying, what politicians are actually doing. People also must start to take records of promises that are being made by politicians and political parties, because this has been the norm, this has been the system. They will just come, make you, give you all nice stories, give you promises, pledges from here up to nobody knows, and that's the end of it. And it is the people need to come up. The people need to say, we need a change, we need a better Gambia. And I can assure you, I can assure the entire country, people that are there in the diaspora, each and every one of them, that GDC is a party established to see to it that Gambia will be there, will just, you know, be moved from the current situation it is in absolute poverty or abject poverty to an independent state where its people will be independent, and then financially, socially, morally, where people will have courage to represent themselves, you know, at an international level and beat their chest. They say that I am from the Gambia, you know, I'm a Gambian representing Gambia. We want to make, we want to promise people that GDC is here, and it has the potential, the possibilities, and the know-how, the strategies, everything in place that we have learned from previous administration, their errors and whatsoever, and we can make a change that will be a change for the good, a change for better Gambia. So I thank you for hosting us here in the DOD show, and I thank also in abundance my colleague there, Mr. Durundao, and I thank the executives of the GDC there in the diaspora, and every listener to this show. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ka, and I will at some point have to call you again since now I've got your number, and I would wanna I've been inviting political parties, but no one seems to like my show. I don't know why, but GDC is a party I'll keep calling every now and then. What is the
Of
issue?
course, anytime,
But I will keep
anytime.
calling GDC, and I'll keep calling you guys, and I'll keep calling you. I'll keep having to have with GDC until until what should happen. I will start from there. I'm no.
Thank you. As long as you don't abuse us, right? That's fine.
Until I invite you to the State House, you will do your press conference in the State House.
Thank you very much. Thanks to the listeners as well, part of the VOD. So you get great. Thank you very much, and hope to be with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, listeners. And new law on VOD. Again, the State of Affairs show. My guests were the GDC PRO, Mr. Amaduka, and the GDC Diaspora PRO, Mr. Durundao, in celebration of their 4th year anniversary. We wish them all the best, and we wish them a happy 4th year anniversary. I'm sure this environment would have been different if not for the COVID-19. But however, we are always here at your disposal. If you need any kind of media publicity, we have a team in the Gambia. We have like 29,000 viewers on Facebook and on YouTube, 3,000 people. And so we are always here for you. Anytime, anywhere, get in touch. We'll be there and then send you a message so long as it's within the conformity of media fluency. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.